I think we are live now. Hello, everyone. Danny, are you there? Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Unlocking Opportunities, Startups, and Side Hustles in Canada. My name is Olamide Adeyanju, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. I'm a data scientist, biostatistician, and public health professional, and I'm excited to share this platform with you all. So this initiative is brought to you by the EU Advisory Hub, which I co-founded with Emmanuel Oyiri. Our mission is to assist immigrants in transitioning and successfully into the professional and business landscapes. We aim to provide valuable insights and connections that will help you thrive in your new environment. In July, we held a successful fiscal networking event here in Canada, and we are looking forward to more opportunities like this to engage and empower our community. During the webinar, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section on our YouTube live stream, and we will address them during the Q&A session. So before we dive into our speaker presentations, I'd like to introduce my co-founder, Emmanuel Oyiri. Emmanuel has been instrumental in creating the EU Advisory Hub and fostering partnerships that benefit immigrants. He will share a bit about our vision and partnership with you now. So that's it.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Like Olamide has said, we're just doing a brief introduction before we get to the discussion of the day. Yes, recently came to Canada, and one of the things that helped me since I arrived has been my community. The people I met in different WhatsApp groups, in different social gatherings, and we just thought, how about we start something for our professional career, just to help us hold each other's hands and as we go up the ladder in this new terrain. Many people have been here for years. One of the importance of this conversation is to get your insights, get your feedback, so that people who are trying to transition will get this knowledge. So we have a very strong panel. I'm really excited. Right now, I'm just taking notes. So if you have your notes, if you have your questions, please feel free. This is the time to ask them. Our moderator, Daniel, is going to help us coordinate this event. And I'm looking forward to a very rich, insightful conversation. Thank you all. Yeah. Olamide, take it away. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. Now let's get to the art of our webinar and meet our incredible speakers. I will introduce them in alphabetical order, and then each speaker will have a chance to, introduce themselves briefly. So our first speaker, who I'm going to add to the stage now, is Adebayo Ajayi, the CEO and founder of NACO Project Pro Consulting and PMP Hub, based in Nigeria and Canada. Adebayo has over 15 years of experience as a personal excellence coach and is dedicated to helping individuals achieve success. So welcome, Adebayo.
Thank you so much, everyone. Glad to be here.
Okay. Next, I'm adding to stage Akinwale Adetuberu, the CEO and founder of Switch Up, located in Toronto. Wale is a strong advocate for financial inclusion and has a wealth of experience in managing engineering projects. Welcome, Wale.
Thank you, Olamide. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Next person is Evelyn Iben, a senior financial analyst and the CEO of Dan and Nick Collections and Love and Connections in Edmonton. Evelyn, you have a diverse background in financial analysis and entrepreneurship. Welcome to our webinar.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Olamide and Emmanuel. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. So, Danny, I'm going to, we are waiting for our fourth speaker, but I think we're just going to move on. Danny, I'm going to allow you to just take the stage from here on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's so good to be here. Good morning, Adebayo. Good morning, Wale. Good morning, Evelyn. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this webinar, Unlocking Opportunities, Startups, and side gigs, side hustles here in Canada. Just earlier this week, I was looking at the news and it talked about the huge percentage of Canadians that are thriving in the gig economy. And what a good introduction that we are doing that, talking something similar to that about that today. Let me do a quick round table, very quick introduction of everyone. Adebayo, in 30 seconds, can you tell us about yourself? Just a high level bio about yourself, please. Adebayo Ajayi. Take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. Just to be sure, can you hear me?
Perfect. I can hear you clearly.
Awesome. Okay, great. All right. So who is Adebayo? Professional wise, I used to say that Adebayo is a project manager and a personal excellence coach. I basically, want people to succeed depending on whatever they want to do. Apart from the professional side of things, business wise, I'm a project management leader. I run about two companies. One is basically B2B, where we concern. The other two companies are basically B2B and B2Cs. Sorry, the first one is B2B. Basically, we consult with organizations to help them set up their project management offices and train their staffs on project management. While the other two are B2Cs, we basically train immigrants on project management, on cyber securities, on some.
Uh-oh, some technical glitches over there. Okay, we can come back to you, Adebayo Ajayi, shortly. Let's move over to Evelyn, please. Evelyn, in 30 seconds, can you just tell us a brief about yourself, a brief bio, a brief overall about yourself, basically?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Evelyn, as you mentioned. A business analyst. Oh, sorry, I'm a financial analyst, more like business operational analyst. I've been in Canada for 15 years now. I have two lovely boys, and what else can I say? Yeah, I'm also a businesswoman, so I have two businesses that I'm running right now. I also like to connect with the community and do volunteering here and there. Yeah, so that's it in 30 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see volunteering, I see business, I see financial analyst, see entrepreneurship. That's fantastic. So let's head over to Wale, please. In 30 seconds, can you tell us about yourself, what you do, and take it away, please, Wale.
Sure, Daniel, and thank you for having me once again. My name is
Yeah.
Wale Adetuberu, and I am the founder of SwitchUp, a money service business here in Canada that helps immigrants, especially with their essential financial services such as money transfers, currency exchange, and processing of payments. And it's a company that has grown over the years into what we have today, as many of you know. And I didn't just start out doing business. I built my business on a 15 years of experience in managing engineering projects. And the strong problem solving skills that I've developed is what has led me here today. And my ambition is really to inspire others who want to pivot careers, launch new ventures, and innovate within this fintech space. So hopefully you find what we say here today useful and helpful to your growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We've done a quick roundtable of Adebayo. I don't know, have you been able to sort out your technical issues, please, Adebayo? Okay, so because of time, we will. Okay, once he comes back in, we'll let him in and then we'll continue the conversation. But let's just take it on from Evelyn, please. So, you've been in Canada for about 15 years. You're also a financial analyst and you're an entrepreneur. What made you go that route, if I should ask?
So going to like financial and analyst position or into business or both?
Both.
Okay. Uh I would say when I moved to Canada, um I came in more as into like the science, like I did computer science back home, right?
Yeah.
But then I felt like where I was, which was Fort Mac, the demand that we had a very small university, right? Like kind of like a polytechnic thing. So accounting was the only thing that actually makes sense at that time for me, because I was looking for something that was more challenging, like computer science. So then I went into that, and I kind of liked it, and I've been doing that ever since. So I kind of switched from accountant position to, I did some training in business analysis, and then I got a position as financial analyst, which was kind of makes sense for me because I was still like within my, my field. So yeah, and then for business, I tend to understand that, being in Canada for a very long time now, not very long time really, you need to have like a side also. You need to have something that, is bringing some extra money in, because I do understand that, working, for someone can't really make you rich. And I want to be rich. So, and then that's how that's why I went through that route. And I also like to, help people. I'm always very involved with the community. I like connecting people. I have different groups like that as well, where we connect and we meet a few once in a while. And that's why I kind of launched Love and Connections, just to connect people together, also introduce people to one another, because I know one of the biggest challenges in Canada is finding a partner. It's not like Nigeria where you'll be on the streets and a guy will just call you. It's different here. We're more um private. So, and that's why I actually got this. So yeah, and so I felt like you need to have that extra income coming for you. You can't be jumping from one job to the other for one, so it's really good to have that balance, and that's what led me to doing both. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there a still on you, Evelyn? Is there a role of passion what's the role of passion in the business that you ventured in?
Okay, so I have two that I do. I have the I when I just said more like retail, so it's more like women accessories. More like I like fashion, and I'm very fashionable. So I thought that kind of just connected with me, and I'm very into growing up with my mom. She's very fashionable. She actually told me everything I know about fashion, and she's very particular about bags. So I kind of know one or two things about bags, and that's why I actually ventured into bags specifically. When it comes to like love and connection, the passion for me is just connecting people, really. You know, and also I have a lot of friends that would. I actually connected one of my friends as well. She's married now with kids, so yeah, so I don't have that experience, and so I just keep doing that, and that's pretty connecting people and meeting people, making sure people are happy, making sure people have beautiful relationship, beautiful marriages, and that's what actually the passion actually led me to that.
Nice. So see, so that's the role. Yeah, I love that the role of passion was built, and you found something that you actually love doing, which is fashion, bags, women accessories, and then that dovetails, nosedives into that, and also the passion for seeing people happy, the passion for helping people, connecting people together, building interpersonal relationships amongst people, and hence loving connections.
Yeah.
So I see that Adebayo has joined back in. Sorry about your technical issues. So let's just quick.
No
We'll come back
worries.
to you, Adebayo. But let's go to the money man, Wale Adetuberu. I like that money services. I What's the role of passion in financial or money services? How did your passion lead you to money services? It's a slippery question, so know how you answer it.
Yes, let me think about it carefully and answer
Yes,
it in a thoughtful way. But thank you for that question, Daniel.
sure.
Passion for me is a product of going on the school of entrepreneurship.
Mm,
I didn't start out being passionate about changing money for people or doing business, but the way, and I'm only saying this in retrospect, the way it happened, not the way I set out for it to happen. It just happened. And my business started mostly because of the change in the landscape during the pandemic, etc. I had dabbled into a few businesses, helping people move to Canada. And from there, when COVID started, I just thought, okay, I'm having all this extra time at home. And what could I do with it? So I started with, it may sound funny, but I started with selling diapers, for example. I was selling diapers, getting them on a discount, reselling to people. After a while, the opportunity was no longer there for me to do so. And then someone came to me one day, they needed to move money from Nigeria to Canada. And I was like, okay, I don't even move money much, but I've seen people post Naira for exchange, card for exchange. So I reached out to a couple of people and helped that individual move that money. From there, that individual introduced me to someone else, and I helped them move the money through the people that were doing the business. So what happened with that is I became a problem solver for these folks. So I'll say doing business for me is about problem solving. That's the passion there, helping people solve their problems. And I found that I could solve people's problem by helping them change money. So I learned about the business and I started it, and I saw that I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed changing money for people, and seeing a smile on their face, because it's really hard for you to move your money from Nigeria or Canada, and vice versa. Many of us need our money instantly. We need it like yesterday, and with the traditional banking system, you need to wait maybe T+1, T+2. Sometimes they ask you to bring a cow's tail before you can move your own money, and you don't have it. So the opportunity to fill that gap for our people, especially the Nigerian immigrant community, is what keeps me going. So, like I said, it's a byproduct of going on the school of entrepreneurship and realizing that, oh, I enjoy to do this.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. I'll come back to you in a minute, but the question that this is bringing out for me is having the keen eye to identify opportunities when they arise, and also the ability to plug into those opportunities, having the capacity to plug into those opportunities and fill in the space and provide solutions for people that reach out to you. But hold on to that thought for a minute. Let's go to Adebayo Ajayi. Adebayo is, for those, that, his introduction was done earlier, and also he did a quick introduction about himself. But let me just say, Adebayo is, on LinkedIn, he's a top project management voice. Basically, he provides significant insights in the world of project management, to people who are in that field, and to everyone who is interested in leveraging project management and project management tools to achieve their day-to-day. So Adebayo Ajayi, talk to us about how you ended up, or what prompted you to start your businesses, and then we can take it on from there.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Daniel. I hope you can hear me clearly now.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So what made me start, my business in project management consulting and training was, when I was planning to come to Canada, I knew that, of course, I used to work as a project manager in one of the multinationals in Nigeria. And of course, while I was going through, how to transition into Canada, I realized that you have to take the project management professional exam, which is what we call the PMP exam. And while I attempted the exam, I failed. And when I failed, I was like, oh my God, someone that had like a first class distinction in my master's, it was very unusual to me to feel like a certification exam. And I gave myself extra 3 months. I prepared and I passed the PMP exam. After I passed the PMP exam, I was still not satisfied. I felt like, PMP dealt with me. So I felt that it was time for me to deal with PMP. So I put out a tweet then on Twitter, now X Messenger, that, if you want to write PMP exam, please send me send me a DM. And a lot of people reached out to me, about 10 people then. And after I trained them for about 3 months, everyone that wrote the exam passed the PMP exam. And I was like, you know what? I can do this on a bigger scale. Then I started the PMP up, then I didn't even register the company. and I started training people. And right now, I've trained over 500 individuals that have taken the PMP exam. And the company actually started in Nigeria, which was PMP Hub. And when I came into Canada, I saw that the market was different. So I wanted to revamp it again to say, you know what, rather than just training people on PMP exam, I want people to, have the basics of project management and then the practical side of things, like have like work on live projects, capstone and all. And I was like, the Canadian market is a bit different from Nigerian market, and that was why I co-founded another company called Valid Point Canada, where we basically train people end to end. And now we move from project management. We also help people on cybersecurity, on supply chain, on data analytics. And the third business, basically, which is Neko Project Pro, was that we're focusing on B2C, more like our business is focused on just customers directly. And I felt that and currently I work as well as a senior project manager in Canada. And I was like, some organizations need some of these project management methodologies to scale their business and all. And I was like, it's time for me to introduce some of those tools and techniques to companies. And that was what made me start the consulting company directly for companies to set up their PMO, to train their staffs, and to basically help them carry out their PMO assessment to see where they are. So that was how it all started.
So for you, so Evelyn was passion. For Wole, it was providing solutions. But for you, it was a spark from failure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. We have some other person that has just joined us on stage. He is Kunle. Kunle is a delivery manager within the aviation and aerospace space with NAV Canada. NAV Canada is responsible for providing air traffic control, aeronautical information, weather, and airport services here in Canada. Welcome, Kunle. Can you, within about 30 seconds, just do a quick introduction of yourself, please? Thank you, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you guys are joining from. My name is Kunle Olukolu. I think you've done a brief description of myself. I'm currently a delivery manager within NAV Canada space. But for the context of like background about myself, in Nigeria, I used to be an air traffic controller. So it was just same mindset coming transitioning to Canada to kind of join back the organization where I have like strong domain. So within the space, I've been a project manager within the organization, also now taking a new role. And I've like some of my accomplishments would be managing some air traffic control delivery services in Nigeria, and also using that to improve some of their organizational practices here. Funny enough, like both organizations I worked with have the same kind of technology, so it was easy for me to transition. And yeah, I think I don't know what else to say, but that's if there was like any specific question, I could probably just answer that. But yeah,
I need a private jet. All right. Welcome, Kunle. Thank you so much. So at this point, we've done a quick introduction and talked. We've also spoken about how each of us, started our businesses, passion, failure, finding the opportunities, and plugging in. Also, let me just let the panelists know that it is highly interactive. This is going to be an interactive session. All the participants are beginning to ask their questions, and questions are already pouring in. So we will open it up to questions. So I might interject as you're making your comments and just to pose questions. Any question that seems appropriate for you, you can just take on it and answer. But I have a question here for Wole. The question goes thus. It says, how did you learn the business of moving money from one point to another?
Oh, I was on mute. Yes. Thanks for that question. It's interesting. I know a lot of people have been waiting to hear this, but that's like the patent to my business. That said, I'll do my best to share what I can share without any risk to the business. But like I said earlier, the business started through problem solving, identifying. So before I identified, I felt there was a gap in myself, in my own life. And the gap was COVID was here, I was working remotely. I was having extra time every day, and I wasn't doing much with that extra time. So I started one business. Not like it failed, but it ended. And then I went back to square one. What could I do? Out of the blue, someone reached out to me and asked me to move money for them, and I did. And I started doing the business myself, in an inappropriate way, so to speak. Meaning, I wasn't registered with I didn't have the necessary license. I didn't have the right bank account, but I started. And what I just said now, I'll use it to emphasize the need to get started, but try to start in the most compliant way. For me, business is like a school. You go there, it's like primary school. You start in primary one. You don't at primary one level. You don't really know what you want to become in life, whether you're gonna end up as a pilot or whatever. So, but this is my own story. It could be different for other people. But for me, that was how it started. So I started and identified opportunities to fill the gaps that I had in my own life at that time. So, with respect to how I move money, it's a lot of components. You need partnerships with financial institutions. You need clients, of course. And how do you get clients? Different ways: marketing, um, starting with one customer, that customer refers someone else, and yeah, just make sure that your clients trust you. But in terms of the real um, business model for moving money, it's complex. It's not something that I can say at one session
Hmm.
like this. But what I can say is you need the right licenses, because you don't want to get caught moving money without the right licenses. It could land you in jail. So you need the right license both in Nigeria, Canada, US, wherever you're moving money. In addition to that, you need the right financial partnership with institutions, with banks. As many of you may know or may not know, the traditional banks will not allow you use their infrastructure to move money. They're going to shut you down. And you need to ask me about the number of bank accounts that I've lost in this country. And that's the cost of doing business. That's the cost of learning before I eventually found the partners that help me move the money back and forth today. You need that in Nigeria as well as in Canada. So licenses, the right financial institutions, and of course your customer base. For example, our group here, the family in Canada, that's a big part of my customer base. It's a group that I love, the Nigerians in Ontario, Nigerians in Canada, all over Canada. So I love those groups. Target WhatsApp groups, target social media. Just go out there, get your customers. Don't be afraid to fail. Um, be wise. You're gonna get wise as you also do your business. Learn to be patient with your customers, because customers, as they say, are always right. They will get angry. Trust me. They will get angry, say all sorts, but you need to be patient and manage them. See yourself as a manager, not just a businessman. You're managing your business and you're also managing your clients. So that's all I can say
Amazing.
for now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That was quite insightful about regulatory licensing and above all, compliance. And this is where I believe a lot of people are hesitant. A lot of people are having second thoughts about going into business. Some time ago, I was looking at the news and where one of the regulatory bodies in Canada, had to intervene about someone who is into skincare. Brought her skincare business over to the country, and she had not gone through the right regulatory process to start developing her formula for use here. Yeah, it's in the public domain. You can look it up at a later time. So that fear of failure, that fear of what should I do next? Where should I get the information from? Evelyn, this question is to you. Being in the merchandising space, how did you overcome that fear of failure? If I start, will I fail? Where do I, how did you overcome that fear, Evelyn, please?
I think for me, it was more like I grew up in a like my mom's family. They're all into business. My dad's family are all into business. So I grew up seeing that, and I kind of understand that business requires a lot of patience, and so you have to also invest. So for me, I was all I have my point. My focus was, I needed to start my business. I would like to transition from my corporate, job to my business. So that's my goal. And I was also looking at, so whatever it takes for me to get to that point, that was what. So I tried few things to myself. I tried, content creation. I tried different things that, but I said my goal is I'm gonna keep figuring these things out. I might start, I might stall, pick it up again. Regardless, I have a goal and I have to get to that goal. So like the thing is, I'm not scared to start, but I also have to understand that failure is part of the journey, right? Every all the great people we know now failed so many times, and so I know it's part of it, and I just have to take that as what learning experience. Whatever I learned from that past, maybe a business I started, I ended. Where like what skill do I get from there? And I've always been applying those skills to the next thing. And yeah, I think that's why it's part of a journey. So there's no fear. You shouldn't have any fear. So
I love that. There's a question for Kunle, but before I come to that question, let me just ask Adebayo Ajayi, because for you moved into the PMP hub out of failure. Evelyn touched on something that is really profound. He said she decided to do whatever it takes. She's decided to do whatever it takes. So Adebayo, please, can you talk to us about having that mindset to do whatever it takes to achieve? You did your PMP, you got your PMP after your first failure, and you said, now it's time for me to deal with PMP. I want to deal with them. And you put yourself in the public space. You went on Twitter, that's X now, and said, if you want to overcome PMP, come to me, we'll work it out and you'll achieve it. Talk to us about that. Adebayo, did you get that?
Okay, sorry, but yes, but towards the end, I didn't really get what you said towards the end.
Yeah, so I was saying, talk to us about doing whatever it takes to achieve what you want. Okay, we can come back to that question. So the question for Kunle that's in the chat, a very quick question. What is one thing you would do differently in the journey if you had to, where you are now, that you think you would have improved on your journey?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
I think for me, looking at it from perspective of corporate job, I've always taken opportunity, like what Evelyn said. I've always taken every lessons learned from every role I took in this country, translating it into that. And I came into the country 2020, just before pandemic, and my mindset was I want to work with this organization, whatever way. So it took me. I was telling someone yesterday, it took me 5 years. It took me 9 applications. I kept on improving myself, kept on doing that. And I think what really helped me was having a mentor. There was someone I really used to was very close with, and at this point I started like learning how to gain leadership skills from even a business perspective, because I was initially consulting for the NAF Canada, and so That helped me in like understanding how to manage business, how to plan, how to do your financial reporting, how to um, deliver value, but at the same time taking care of yourself. And so that's what I did throughout my period. I don't know, maybe that answered the question specifically,
Okay.
but that's just what I did all through those years. And through every failure point, I just kept improving myself, keep improving myself, and had a mentor to help me with some parts I was lacking.
Nice. Having a mentor. That's a very, very valid point of view. Some people, some school of thought says it takes 10,000 hours to develop mastership or to achieve mastership. But one way I believe to truncate that process is to use another person's 10,000 hours as my learning points and I move forward pretty quickly. So here's a question for you, Evelyn, from your 10,000 hours of being a relationship networking expert. Is relationship networking a money-making business, or is it something you do for fun? And how do you make money from it if it's also for profit?
Okay, I think it's how you look at it. How this started for me was I joined like a church that is more like African, and there is a lot of white church people. So I started connecting the black people, like the Africans together, Caribbeans, and that was how it started for me. I started organizing different activities and stuff like that, and I think someone actually mentioned, Evelyn, you should be, yeah, a lot of single people here, you're good at connecting people. Maybe you should look into that kind of stuff, right? And I remember there was a time, there was a friend that I had who was single, and we're all married. I was like, guy, you need to find, I will find you a girl. So I found him a few girls, and he eventually he met the last person. He got married to the last person, and today they are very happy. And so that was just like, Evelyn, you should start this thing, you should start it. And that's why I started. So it kind of jokingly started as, for fun. So I kind of just figured out that I'm passionate about it. I like people, I like connecting people, I like seeing people happy. And I also realized I like watching a lot of, this reality love shows, and I have a lot of opinion about it. And so it started as fun, as passion, not making no money involved. And then I feel like you can apply business to anything. You can make money from anything. It's just a strategy around it. And then I now started looking at different matchmaking services, and I start looking at their website. I start studying it. I start looking at all their pricing and stuff like that. And that's how I started. And so I would provide like private session if you want, and there's speed dating events too, right? And so you have to buy ticket for those events. It's not free. So you buy ticket for those events, and then for the private sessions for people that are busy and stuff like that, those are also money that you have to pay to get that asset as well. So I would say, if you can sell anything, you can make money from anything, is how you, but I feel like something like this, you need to build a community first. And that was what I was doing indirectly when I was just connecting people. And then after building that business, that community, it just was just easy to just transition into like the next level, which
Hmm.
is has to be, so people take you more seriously to when you had some tickets and some money to whatever service you're providing. So that's how, yeah, so you can make money from basically
Thank you
anything.
so much. Thank you so much, Evelyn. I love that you said something pretty profound, and I'm coming back again to Adebayo. You talked about building a community. Adebayo, the question to you is building your community PMP hub, building your community, you know, and also now providing PMO solutions to companies, B2C, B2B. How are you able to build and sustain your community of PMP, diehard PMP fans?
Yeah, I actually think that's a very important question when it has to do with business. So, Evelyn, in what she currently does, or Wale, you need the traffic, what we call the customer, to keep the business going. No matter how good your strategies are, your plans are, like you need that community. And one of the things that I realize is that there's this business quote that says that one happy customer will give you 4 new clients. And rather than just giving wish wash and people just come and go and all. So one of the things I do in terms of building the community is that my value proposition in all my businesses is that our costing is very easy for people. One of the things I said to myself is that people are coming to Canada, they don't even have money to pay their bills here. Is very difficult. Why then would they be able to pay $2,000 or $1,000 to learn something that that has not started giving them money? So it was very cheap. As low as 500 CAD, you can learn in 3 months. You get your PMP certification. You get hands-on experience and everything. And I realized that using that methodology of basically cost-effective program, people are passing their exams, people are getting jobs, people are referring people. And every single time, there's never a time to say that, oh, there's nobody in this cohort, what is really happening? And that's when we build our community. And, apart from that, another way in which, we're able to sustain ourselves is that we have an alumni community. So anyone that goes through our program joins an alumni community, and we keep giving them value for free. So it means that if they then meet Evelyn, oh, Evelyn, I want to transition into cybersecurity, where can I go to? Because we are still in their faces, even though they've graduated through our program, we are still relevant for them, and they keep making reference to us. So those are the two strategies, that I've been able to use to keep the community. One, we ensure that we are still relevant for them, even when they go out, when they finish our program. And number two, our solutions are very, very cheap.
Thank you so much. Being relevant to everyone that you meet, everyone that goes through your cohort, all the alumni, staying relevant throughout the process, even after they've gone through your training. Quick question for Conley, coming from, just dovetailing from Adebayo, staying relevant. You started in the aviation space in Nigeria, and you transitioned to Canada, and you're in the aviation space. How have you been able to learn? How have you been able to build capacity to stay relevant with up-to-date information, with up-to-date technology, and also transitioning that into your personal life, business, and career, basically?
I think moving to what Adebayo said, you need to invest in yourself. Like, I find out that most of the time I sign up for courses, sign up for events, go for at the time I was going for ICAO events just to try out myself there. And ICAO is just the International Civil Aviation Organization for the whole, is based in Montreal. So I started doing that, and when I started consulting for PM as a PM for NAV Canada for infrastructure technology stuff, and I started telling people as well, oh, do you know I have experience in air traffic control, I can do this, I can do that. And with that, I started selling myself. I started telling people, oh, this guy has a background in this, he understands the core operations. And what I started doing was also talking to my community of Nigerian people here, and I said, do you know there's a big industry for air traffic controllers where you just need to have let's say school SAT equivalent, WIAC equivalent, and you can make yourself there. So I started informing people and reaching out, basically just trying to keep my clientele high. And with that, I started helping the Nigerian community here with understanding the requirements for being an air traffic controller, the basic process here. So basically, I think what helped me was being out there, keeping a good community, signing up for events to just sell myself. And I think that's pretty much what has helped me till now, and it's still helping me.
Thank you, Kunle. Thank you, Kunle. I love the fact of constant learning, constantly improving yourself. Something I saw, it says if you learn one thing a day, by the end of the year, you would have improved yourself 365 times. Not achieving just 100%, you would have improved 365 times. That's significant. That is valid. Just 15 minutes or 45 minutes of studies a day, will lead to significant improvement. A very quick question for you, Wale, please. your story is quite unique and profound. You know, can you walk us through the startup process so people can, there are some data that is beginning to come in here. I'm going to share the data shortly, but I see that a significant number of people are interested in starting in new business ideas. About 40% of people are interested in new business ideas. So 40% of the audience here interested in new business ideas. So can you walk us through step by step of process of starting up? Say I want to sell diapers, for instance, just like you did. You found that opportunity during the COVID. So as simple as diapers, simple as milk, anything, just basic, simple. Before we go into the complex one of moving money, because there's also another question here about moving money. Everyone is interested in money services, money as a service, MAAS. That's a new term I have discovered.
I can share a few thoughts,
Yes,
and
please.
there won't be one template for every business.
Absolutely.
But I think the most important one is to get started. The journey of 1,000 miles must begin with one step. Before I started business, I used to have one internal crisis, which was that I was shy to sell things to people. And in speaking with other entrepreneurs like myself, I've discovered they also had the same problem before they got started. So I broke that barrier first. I stopped being shy. And how did I stop being shy? I started. I started advertising to people, and I realized that no one is giving a second thought about you. They just want to do business. So if you are having that issue where you feel shy to approach people, I'm gonna encourage you to just get started. Start selling things to people. Practice. Find something in your garage, sell it. From there, you can start selling other things. And secondly, identify opportunities for problem solving. People need products and services every day in different areas, and opportunities often pass us by when we haven't started that school of entrepreneurship. But once you start seeing opportunities around you, and then you can then plug in into the one that suits your own interest and passion. And like someone also said, another thing, I think, was it Kunle or Adebayo that said earlier, find a mentor. A mentor will reduce your learning process, will make you achieve your goals faster. They will literally just give you free education in most cases. So get a mentor, it helps. And also take advantage of funding, government funding, tax intensives. There are a lot of grants out there that people don't even know about. But guess what? You can't know if you're not doing a business, if you're not offering services or solving problems of people. And I'll give you a practical example. During COVID, the government of Canada gave out, was it a CBA loan? CBA loan, interest free for initially 2 years, ended up being 3 years, and it was a total of 60,000 with 20,000 as grant. So businesses that qualified made free 20K during COVID, of course, to meet business needs. So imagine you had 5, 10 businesses that met the requirements. You would be getting 200K in grants from the government. No interest, just free money. So, but without being in that space, if you don't have a business that you run, there is no way for you to take advantage of those opportunities. So I'll say the most important thing here is to get started. Get started, fail, try again. It's a school. That's what I've realized. Entrepreneurship is a school. You start, you make mistakes, you identify opportunities, identify even your own interests. Think of when we go to school, primary school, secondary school, then university. At every point in time, you probably have different interests. But by the time you graduate from university, and I will say even all of us here, we're probably practicing not what we studied in university. So it's a journey. Eventually, you'll find your interest. And even after you succeed in one interest, you can use the lessons and the successes there to start something else. So just start. That's all. That's the most important thing that I can say today. Just get started.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is actually really profound and wise. Get started. You cannot win the game if you are not playing the game. So it's good to get started. I want to get started. Someone wants to get started, but I don't have the money. The person is new in Canada. The person is building, probably has gotten started on a job that's fair, and the person is able to pay rent, pay some fees, manage some bills. But the person really, really wants to get started. So how does one overcome this hurdle? I will take this question to everyone on the panel. We'll start with Evelyn.
Okay. Yeah. If you're trying to start a business and you don't have money, I feel like there are few businesses that you can do that doesn't require money to start. Like especially there are some service businesses that you could start with. Um, and because if you're new, you can't really qualify for some financial, grants or whatever. So I would say, some people will start with content creating, for example. Let's say you want to eventually dive into like money or let's say PMP kind of business like Adebayo is doing. You could start by creating content and providing advice on, and just start like that. That way you're already building a community. And when you get to a point, maybe you get a job and you can actually fund the business, or maybe you could want to get a website, get a business, register your business, whatever. You can use money from your job to do those things, but start by putting your content out there, because even content creation is another stream of income. You're building your followings, and through that, when you now start, because I realize a lot of people that are creating content, if you look at their videos, they would have links to their product at the end. So by the time you now start introducing, let's say, oh, I have a PMP company, blah blah blah, I provide training. People, you've already built the credibility already. So people would not even think twice before clicking on that link and actually registering being part of that course or program they are offering. So I would say it's not having money is kind of like is not a reason not to start. I would say do what you can do right now. If it's content creation, if it's just networking, start building the ground to that point where you can now start, taking that step when the money is there. Then you can start having access to, those other banks and other aspects of that
Thank
journey
you.
trying to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Evelyn. So this question to Kunle now. Same thing. Somebody wants to start. The person is shy to start. The person also doesn't have money to start. What would you say?
I'll
In
use
30 seconds,
myself.
45 seconds.
Okay, I'll just try and make it quick. I'll use myself as an example. First of all, you need to have determination. Once you're determined that this is what I want to do, trust me, you'll make things will start happening for you. So that's first thing, first hurdle. Second hurdle is you have to start getting knowledge, understanding what kind of business do I want to do in Canada? How do I want to do it? I mentioned before, getting mentor, understand how to set up a business. You have to register your company and stuff like that. Then something that I think most people fail at is learn to market yourself, learn to speak in public, in church, within the community of friends, anything. Just say, oh, by the way, do you know this? So you'll be surprised that you're actually selling yourself, and somebody somewhere will say, oh, I have a guy that is this, that is that would help. And lastly, just because of time, will be ready to grab opportunity, any opportunity when it comes, because you might probably be looking at, I want to do this project management business, but opportunity will come for you to do content creation. Be ready to grab all those opportunities. So that's my giveaway.
Amazing. Thank you. Be ready to grab opportunities. Adebayo, please. Somebody wants to start. The person is scared. The person doesn't have finances. 30 seconds,
Okay.
45 seconds. Yes, please.
Yes. I think in life there are a lot of things we can't always control. So if what you can't control is that you don't have money to start, what exactly do you have? You know, at least whatever you have is enough to start. So if what you have, like I think Evelyn mentioned, content creator. If what you have is like a social media account that I need to push around. If you have the gift of people, friends, family, use that. Use that as your marketing platform. And by the way, I've always believed that yes, money is important. You need money to start business, but trust me, with or without money, there's a lot of things you can start. So just shift your mind off what you don't have, focus on what you have, and maximize what you have. And you realize that at the end of the day, when that money starts coming, when you're talking about your success story, people can learn one or two things from it. So start with what you have.
Thank you. I'm grateful to everyone that have gone through this question. This question started from a comment by Wale. So coming back to Wale now, you talked about when he started. You talked about understanding the regulatory structure, compliance. So here in Canada, someone wants to start a business. The data that's coming in, say about 34% of the audience here are interested in starting. Somebody wants to start a business. How can they register a business in Canada? You're muted, please. Okay, now you're on. Yes.
Yeah, I was muted by the organizer, so I couldn't unmute myself. To register a business, um, there are two ways you can go about it. You can either do it yourself or get someone to do it for you, someone who knows how to do it. And simply by putting Federal Corporations Canada or Ontario Business Registration on Google, it will take you to a website, and within a few steps, you'll get your company registered. But you need to identify the nature of your business, the address, the the directors, not necessarily the shareholders, but the directors of the company, and the kind of business you want to do. So it's good to give it some thoughts before going to the route of registering, so that when you register, you don't register something that you won't end up doing. But even if you do, you can always change the nature of your business. So that's one thing. When you get started, use social media tools like Reddit, business pages, talk to a mentor. What are the regulatory requirements that you need to fulfill before starting that business? In my case, as a money service business, you need to have a FINTRAC registration here in Canada and other registrations in other countries. So if you're selling food, for example, talk to a caterer who's running the business properly and ask them to educate you on what you need to get registered. So that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Someone asked, someone posted a comment. I am someone who has been here for quite a long time. I picked up art during the pandemic again. I want to believe that this is art in terms of creating something. So this person picked up art during the pandemic again, and after 10 years of not doing it, that's the person picked it up after 10 years of not doing it. Fast forward a few years later, art now adds to daily income. I urge people to take a leap of faith. This is one of the comments that has come in. Yeah. So you also talked about Wale. You also talked about government funding when you talked about people just starting, and then by starting, you get more information along the line. It will interest you to know that about 32% of folks in the audience here are interested in funding and finance. So funding and finance, you had already talked about that, but let me pass this question over to Adebayo. Do you have any thoughts about funding and finance in your obviously the person has started and wants to make payroll or wants to scale up. So do you have any thoughts about that, please?
Okay. I've never asked for or have to require like external funding for my business. But I have some thoughts on that. But I will actually pass on to anyone amongst the panelists that have any experience with like seeking funds and all, so they can give like their own, one-to-one experience on that before I give my what I know about that. But I've never had to seek external funding for my business.
Amazing. Anyone wants to take a stab at that question?
I can
go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
So there is the BDC, the Bank for Canadian Entrepreneurs, and sometimes they even have grants specifically for Black folks. So if you go to the to bdc.ca, you can go through their website and see which kind of funding you will qualify for as a business. In addition to that, you can also talk to private individuals. You'll be surprised that among your network, there are individuals looking to invest their money, but that will require you to maybe have a business plan, have a pitch deck that you will show to them to demonstrate the profitability of your business to them. You can also walk to a bank to take a loan, but again, that will require a business plan and maybe a pitch deck to demonstrate how you will pay back the loan. But I want to talk about something that Kunle said, which is also about getting started and needing money to fund the business. In my own case, I didn't need money to start the business that I currently do. I identified the opportunity by solving a problem for someone. Someone needed money, I changed it for them, and I did a markup. So I didn't need my own money to make that happen. But when I started building the business properly, that was when I needed funding, and I got it, through private investment, some of my own funds, etc. So again, it's about getting started. You don't need, I think for most businesses, you don't need money to get started. Because before you get to that level where you need to build, you must have started. You must have seen that, okay, I think this makes sense for me. I think I am interested in this. I think I can make this profitable in X number of years. So just start. If it's about sales that you want to do, go look into your house. What's an item that you no longer need? Try to sell it and see how successful you are at it.
Amazing. So Adebayo, would you want to share your thoughts in 30 seconds?
Yes. So seeking funding, well, already touched on some of them. The only thing I'm going to say is that if what you're looking for is government funding, then I believe that you need to have your business registered. So if one way or the other you think your business you are trying to scale up will require government funding or external funding, try to register your business in Canada. The second part is that there is a lot of ways in Canada compared to Nigeria or whatever country you've immigrated from. There's several opportunities that are available to you. If you have a line of credit, you can use a line of credit to scale up your business. So these are some of the things that ways that you can get funding for your business.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Can I chime in? Yeah.
Yes, you can go ahead. 30 seconds, Kunle.
Okay. I think for the funding, I was in a similar situation at some point. For you to get qualified for funding, I think like they say, you have to set up a business, but there's also some requirements, like you need to be doing a business for like, let's say 24 months consistently. You have to have filed some income tax, T1, something like that. So those are also needs. Then for the I think Wale mentioned something about a company doing lending for Africans. You also have to have 25% of the funding. So let's say you're requesting for 100K, you need to have 25K invested in that business. Then they would fund you 75%. So there are some guidelines, but I think the best option And I would say that's we recommended is leverage on your line of credit and your personal or organizational line of credit, something like that. That would help.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to do 2 rapid fire sessions. We've done about an hour here, and so we are wrapping up now. Rapid fire question to Evelyn. Rapid fire question to Evelyn. Let me see. How do you decide that you're ready to leave your 9 to 5 for a side hustle? 30 seconds.
I think for me is I look at what I make currently right now, and for what I told myself is when I'm able to make double what I'm making, or at least more close to double what I'm making, and that has to include like my income before tax, and also my benefit also, and everything like that, put that into consideration. So yeah, so it depends. It's different for different people. So for me, it could be maybe if you're making the same amount you're making right now, or some people it could just be, you may not be making that much, but you just want to be able to make close to that, and then be able to put more time into your business, your own personal business. So it depends on how you look at it.
Amazing.
When yeah, so I got
Amazing.
my money. Yeah.
Good. Rapid fire question to Kunle. Finding a mentor. 30 seconds.
I think find the domain you want to be in, reach out to them, leverage on LinkedIn, leverage on face-to-face conversations, and have an idea of what you want to do. So you're able to communicate that to your mentor. Don't just go to the mentor and the mentor is the one guiding you. You need to say, hey, I want to do XYZ. I know you're doing that. What are the steps? So that's very basic. So I'm happy to help anyone if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Okay. So rapid fire question to the money guy. Integrity. Moving money is a lot about trust and integrity. How do I go about, or how does someone who is interested in money as a service build integrity with people and delivers? Talk to us. 30 seconds.
The first step is for you to understand the amount of time it will take you to deliver to your clients. So make sure you have that understanding before even committing to moving money to your clients. So understand what time it takes to deliver, because clients want their money when you say they will get it. 1 minute late, they're in trouble. They start, calling your phone 24/7. So make sure you understand your business. If you're using a provider, make sure you get accurate information from that provider before you take money from people, and do what you say you will do. With that, the PR will be done by the happy customers.
Amazing. Amazing. Rapid fire question to Adebayo. Rapid fire question to Adebayo in 30 seconds. Personality. You're currently creating PMO, building PMOs for organizations and large. How does somebody build his capacity to that point where he can walk in to speak at to large organizations to deliver services to them?
Okay. I think 2 things I'll talk about: experience and exposure. Go for as many opportunities as you can, and also learn. So one of the things I did coming to Canada was that I joined the Project Management Institute network, and I didn't just join. I currently volunteer as assistant director in for the whole Lakeshore region, and I'm putting myself out there to see basically the trends and opportunity around the project management and everything. And also I put myself out there. So on LinkedIn, like I write every Monday on a particular stuff on project management. And also in my company as well, like I mentioned, we've even moved beyond project management to other programs. So we're trying to recruit like co-partners or like or like program leads. I'm looking at somebody that, when they speak, someone can say, oh, I want to learn cybersecurity from this person. So experience and opportunity. Learn, keep learning. And as much as you are learning, put yourself out there. There's this guy, Henry Ford. He said that when opportunity basically meets your experience, success is inevitable. So learn and put yourself out there. So yeah, those are the 2 things.
When opportunity meets experience, success is inevitable. Success is inevitable. We've learned a lot, we've heard a lot, we've talked about mentorship, we've talked about, most importantly, just get started. We've talked about passion, solution, providing, how to build from failure, how to get funding, just get started. Some days ago, I walked into, walking along the street, a very busy street somewhere downtown Toronto. I saw a particular bar that had very dirty windows. There was no customer inside apart from the bartender. The bartender just sat looking at the television screen and having a drink. But on the left and on the right, there were bars filled up with all sorts of, party goers, people having fun. And I walked into that particular store, and the guy asked if I wanted a drink. I told him, "Why is your store empty and every other one is full?" And the guy was taken aback. I said, he sat for about 30 seconds trying to come up with an answer, and he says he doesn't know. And he ended up by saying, I asked him, "What would you require to turn your business around?" He said he'll require a website, he'll require social media, he'll require photographers, he'll require, and I said, okay, you know what? I can connect you to these people. And that was the opportunity that the guy needed. The website is being built for him as we speak, and his bar, right? Photographers are today's Saturday. Photographers are going in to have a chat with him. The window cleaners are going to his place to clean up the entire, the windows for his bar, and hopefully that's some revenue generation. So you just have to get started. One last thing, rapid fire, 30 seconds. Talk about yourself, talk about your business, and talk about, to the audience. You know what? Let's make this 60 minutes per person. Then we close. We will start with Evelyn. You're muted, please.
Okay, sorry about that. So for business, I have so Danani Collection is more like a retail business. We'll focus on accessories, bags, genuine leather bags. So I have a website www.dananicollections.com to access.
You can take it again. You can take it again.
So www.danandnickcollections.com for that one. And for the Love and Connection, which we just we're connecting more like it's a relationship speed dating services that we provide. So I'm still working on the website, but you can just send me an email, or then when the website is launched, then I can always follow up with that. So it's evelyneben2022@yahoo.com. That's my email address.
Take your email address again.
Evelyn Eben, so my first, my last name, 2022@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much. There's a singer called Eben. Can you sing like him?
I sing too, so maybe I can sing.
Okay, so let's move to Kunle. Talk to us about your offering, and in 60 seconds, we are closing, we are wrapping up already. And how can the audience connect with you after today? Go ahead, please.
So I provide consulting services specifically for aviation, air traffic control services, aerospace industry. Currently working on, my focus right now is getting Nigerian community into air traffic control or flight specialists training program. So that's my specialty right now. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Kunle Olukolu, or my company name, Oluke Consulting Incorporated @gmail.com. So with that, Oluke Consulting, I put it in the chat, so maybe someone can put it in the group. So yeah, so basically, I'm pretty much open, but my main focus right now is getting Nigerian community into aviation industry where they can have a long-term plan to retire and opportunity to make more money. Yeah.
Thank you. Adebayo, please. 60 seconds. Talk to us about your offerings, and how can the audience connect with you after now?
Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. My offerings, basically, I'm a personal excellence coach. So I help you succeed, whatever you're looking for, if it's career coaching, if it's career mentoring, or any other form of capacity building. I'm here to help you. Apart from that, if you want to transition into a new career, project management, cybersecurity, supply chain, data analytics, you can basically connect with me. So you can, I think the best way to actually connect with me is through my IG or LinkedIn, Ajayi Adebayo, LinkedIn, while on Instagram at Success Bio. I will just put that in the chat at Success, then Bio. And depending on what you're looking for, I will then direct you to the right account. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. When you said you direct us to the right account, do you mean the bank vault or the bank account, something? All right, Wale, 60 seconds. Tell us about your offerings and how can the audience connect with you. You can also put your contacts in the chat and they'll handle it from there. But please talk about it.
Thank you, Daniel. My contact is in the chat already. Everyone should see it. What I do is help you move your money from point A to point B, cross border from Nigeria, many African countries to Canada, and other Western countries, UK, US, and vice versa. So I'm your money man. You need to move it at the speed of light, at a competitive rate. That is the problem that I solve for you. Leave that headache for me. Just send in money. I'll move it for you. And I'm also an investor in startups and small businesses. So if you think you have a great idea, you need funding in exchange for equity in your company or other investment models that you can think of, you have a great business idea and a pitch deck, feel free to reach out to me. My contact is there. We can talk and see how I can be of help.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for all the value you've offered today. Thank you, Wale. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Kunle. Thank you, Adebayo. And thank you, most importantly, to EO Advisory Hub for putting this together, unlocking opportunities, startups, and side hustles in Canada. Get started. You can only start, you can only win the game if you get started, if you are playing the game. I hope this has been valuable to everyone here, to the entire participants. I hope this has been valuable. I hope you got something of use. The world is your oyster, as they say. Thank you so much. Bye. I'll hand it over to Olamide and Emmanuel. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Danny. Thanks, everyone. We're just wrapping up now. I just want to thank everyone for joining in this Saturday afternoon, listening to all the feedbacks. I've been taking notes here and there, all the funding notes and everything. Yeah, so we will get started. I want to especially thank Olamide for putting this together. She's been working on it really hard with many of the speakers, coordinating with them, and then making it a successful event. We did our fall hangout, and now we did our summer hangout, and now this is our fall webinar. We'll keep having these events, connecting people, and then leaving the contact of everyone that comes on, so that we can all continue building the community. I'll leave it there, and I'll leave it to Olamide to wrap up at this stage. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all for joining us today and for your engaging questions. A huge thank you to our speakers for sharing their expertise and experiences. Remember, the journey to success is ongoing, and we hope this webinar has provided you with valuable insights to navigate your own path. If you're interested in connecting with any of our speakers, their contact details are available in the chat, and we look forward to seeing you at future events. Have a wonderful day, guys.